All right, happy Tuesday. I mean, what the actual fuck, Yankees? Are you shitting me? Wow. Crazy, crazy, crazy night. All right, 15 game slate today. Let's get into the recap. Insane. 8-3 on the picks, and we ended up down 1.3 units. Absolutely insane. Toronto and Los Angeles. I loved that bet. And then Toronto came out and scored four. Angels scored one. I mean, we got five through like the first five innings. That was it. They just one more in like the ninth or something, just terrible. Um, Diamondbacks only won by one. They had to come back to win. They ended up winning on two wild pitches, so that was pretty crazy. Atlanta 0-0 after five, so that was a push there. But the Reds raced to four. Damn, that made the night worth it. That was just very enjoyable. Spencer Steer, two home runs, four RBIs, just absolutely insane. But we had the over on that game. They had 7 runs through 5 innings. That was it. They didn't they didn't score another run. So I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Yeah, I mean, so many. Oh, Kansas City had so many opportunities to score 4 runs. I mean, they got one in the first, one in the second. They had men in scoring position the entire game. Just could not get it done. And then Brady Singer gave up 6 runs in the fourth inning, something like that, and they just couldn't recover. So yeah, it was a big GG there. The Cubs, that was a hell of a game. That was really interesting. Cubs jumped out to an early lead, and then the Guardians came back. Cubs came back. It was just back and forth. Really high scoring game. It ended up being 9-8. So really good game there. But yeah, the Yankees. My God, if we'd have hit the Yankees, we'd have hit the first 8 games of the night. That would have been huge. We would have had an absolute massive night. But it is what it is. So we move on. Tricky slate today in terms of the tracking. 2 days in a row down a unit. It is what it is. Um, Tricky day today. I see some good spots to attack, but this is another one of those like, be a little cautious kind of days. Jake Irvin going up against Trevor Rogers, first game on the slate here. Trevor Rogers has not been fantastic since he came over from the Marlins. He wasn't fantastic on the Marlins. So that said, he did pitch against Washington earlier this year. Did okay. Got a decent track record against Washington over 10 games. Got a 3.35 ERA. We look at Jake Irvin. Dude has struggled, man. He's on the struggle bus right now. It's the first time he's faced the O's. He's given up 14 earned runs in his last 3 home starts. So has not been doing well, and this wasn't to good teams either. He's given those up to middle of the road to below average teams. If we look at the O's, so the splits aren't great here, and they haven't fared well against lefties, right? So they've faced 6 lefty starting pitchers over the last 30 days. They've only gotten 6 earned runs off of them, so that's a little concerning, but I think they bucked the trend against Irvin tonight. I think Rogers has an okay game. The over is favorited for a reason, so if the books are favoring the over, the pitch splits just look really bad for Irvin. But like I said, I don't think that means Washington doesn't get their slice of meat out of Trevor Rogers today. So if you want to look at like a Washington first 5 over 1.5, I do like that at -160. Yeah, I like the O's to get it done here. All right, this game was hard, man. I went back and forth, and the video's coming out a little bit later than normal. Just because some of these games were like really struggling to figure out what was going on. So a lot of research there. I put Guardians on here. Everything inside me says take the Cubs, if we're being honest. You've got a guy making his very first start. This dude had Tommy John last year. He's looked good, right? He was 5-5 with a 5.5 ERA with the Tigers last year in 15 starts. He's made 5 rehab starts. He's 1-0 with a .83 ERA. I don't put a whole lot into that. Cleveland did have to use 6 relievers yesterday, so that could impact either today's game or tomorrow's. But it's so hard for me to back Assad. I mean, he is not good. And I think the Guardians tattoo the shit out of him. But that said, if we look at what the Cubs have done against lefties, last 3 left-handed starters to face them, they've got 19 earned runs. I mean, they absolutely torched Garrett Crochet. They got 7 off of him. So that makes me nervous. But it's kind of hard to not back Cleveland at home, man. So are they back? Maybe. They've won 3 in a row. So once they get on these streaks, it's really hard for me to back them. That said, the pitch split for Assad is really good. So struggle, man. There is a lot of value on taking Assad. My concern is the dude walks too many people. You know, we get a walk and then a blast, and it's GG. So I'm going to go with Guardians. And the line just keeps trending towards the Guardians. The Cubs were my plus 110. They're already at plus 120 right now. All right, next game, Marlins and Phillies. Tejan Walker is back after this dude missed 6 weeks because of right hand finger inflammation, whatever the hell that means. So 6 weeks seems like a long time for a swollen finger. 5.63 away ERA. I don't know why I put his away ERA. His home ERA is not great. So he's a terrible home pitcher. So his last start was on 6/21. He's expected to go about 75 pitches, so we don't have to worry about him necessarily for the full game. For the Marlins, they don't have a listed pitcher. I think it's going to be Balazzo. This guy done really well, except for one bad start against the Red Sox. Other than that, hasn't pitched too bad. That said, this guy has a 90-mile-an-hour fastball with a lot of run. That's really where his value is at, is that he has a lot of run on his fastball. He has very weak breaking pitches. You know, from an advanced metrics perspective, they're below average in almost every statistical category. So he's got a very low chase rate, a very low whiff rate. You know, if there's one bugaboo about the Phillies, it's their strikeout rate. Which they've been doing a lot better at. It's just the team, if you're not going to K them, they're going to get to you. So this guy has a very low K prop. I think Philly score runs in abundance. So I actually like the Philly team total over 4.5 at minus 125 today, especially at home. I think they get it done. They're one of the better home teams around. Playing in that Philly environment can be a little unnerving. It's quite loud there. All right, next game, Mariners and the Tigers. A little rematch from, let's see, 11 days ago. George Kirby versus Skubal. So Tariq Skubal, like I said, they just faced off. Actually, no, it will be like a week ago. So their last starts. Kirby, very un-Kirby-like. Giving up runs at home is not something Kirby does a lot of. But he does do that away. He's got a 3.46 away. Skubal is actually a little worse at home than he is away. But he had a okay outing against Seattle. I think for his standards, giving up 2 earned runs is decent. So I like Tigers to get the job done today. Mariners had a really good offensive output versus the Mets, but just from what we've seen, you know, they have a really big offensive series at home, and then as soon as they travel to that next away series, the bats just go ice cold. So I'm kind of banking on that trend today, and they just haven't fared well against Skubal. So I like Tigers. First 5 would be my preference. You can get Tigers first 5 at minus 125, so it really just doesn't make a lot of sense. I'll take the, little bit of juice there, minus 122 versus minus 125 to back Skubal. Don't really trust that Tigers bullpen. So seems like a better option there. All right, next game, Reds and Cards. Loved watching the Reds win, especially at plus money last night. It was beautiful. I like them again tonight. Green, it's hard to really fade Hunter Green right now. He gave up 3 earned runs against the Marlins, but that was one bad inning. So, you know, if we look over his last 7 games, he's only given up 5 earned runs. So he's still scorching hot. Fedde doesn't have the best track record versus the Reds. He's got a little over a 6 ERA in 4 games versus the Reds. Fedde looked okay his last start. Didn't look too great the start before that. So I'll back Hunter Green. He's got success against this team. He's got a 3.57 ERA in 8 games versus them. I like the way the bats are swinging now for the Reds. I think they score off of Fedde. Now the over is favored in this game, which is really weird. That's a really, really weird one, considering they didn't get it done last night. So that's a little concerning. Why is this favored? But that kind of tells me they expect the Reds to get to Fedde. So I actually like the under. I don't think they touch the over. Next game, Astros at the Rays. Yusei Kikuchi going up against Shane Baz. Kikuchi dominated them last outing. 11 Ks, very un-Kikuchi-like. I think his K line's at 7.5 today. I don't think he hits that in Tampa. If we look at Baz, decent outing, 5.1 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks versus Houston. This guy should be getting hit harder than what he is. He's got a 1.47 WHIP, expected ERA of 5.18. He does give up, hits to both sides of the plate. So I like the Astros to roll here. I'm very surprised we're seeing minus 135 after last night, and the fact that the Astros have won 6 in a row. The offense is rolling, so it kind of tells me the books don't necessarily trust Kikuchi, or probably rightfully so. All right, next game, A's and the Mets. This game scares me. I don't love how the Mets are trending, right? We just saw them go to Seattle and they scored a total of 1 run in 3 games. So it doesn't exactly give me a crap ton of confidence to back them. And Ross Stripling has had, really good success against this Mets team, actually. They're only hitting 215 off of him, 14 for 65. So that makes me a little nervous. But it's also Ross Stripling. Like, you can almost just guarantee this dude's going to give up 3 to 4 earned runs. It's like clockwork. Blackburn looked pretty good his last 2 starts. So, I got to go with the Mets here and just really hope that the bats come to life at home. But, man, it's kind of scary to back them right now. There's definitely value on the A's. Pitch splits don't even look that great for Blackburn, right? It's just, I think they're going to win, though. Just gut feeling says they're going to win. I think their bats come to life. The A's are a good team to do that against, but we just saw the A's go and rout the Blue Jays, so you never know. But a strong gut feeling towards the Mets here. All right, let's see. Red Sox and the Rangers. The Red Sox got the job done last night in extras. The over didn't hit. Bello had arguably his best game of the year, which is crazy. Tyler Mahle somehow was just blowing 92-mile-an-hour fastballs by him like they were 105. So it took him a while to figure Mahle out. Today you got Jose Urena going up against Cutter Crawford. I mean, this is such a beautiful spot to take the over, but after the lack of offense last night, I'm a little hesitant too. So these two just squared off pretty recently. It wasn't good. Cutter Crawford gave up, 5 earned runs in 5 innings. You think they probably lost, but no. Urena gave up 7 earned runs in 4 innings. So both of these two combined for 13 earned runs in their last start. Crawford is really on the struggle bus, man. He has given up 22 earned runs in his last 4 starts. So he's given up a little over 5 earned runs average in his last 4 starts. So is Texas the team to get right? I don't know. I mean, I would lean Red Sox just because, like I said, Urena is just horrible. I think Crawford does okay back at home, but still a little nerve-wracking, right? We look at what he does against lefties. It's not good. 327 average. So, that definitely makes me a little nervous when we think about that lineup. We think about Corey Seager, Josh Smith, those guys. Potential to go yard there against Crawford. But we look at the other side with Urena. I mean, he's just really kind of giving it up to both sides of the plate. So the real question is going to be, does the offense show up? Obviously, the Red Sox suspended Jalen Duren yesterday for 2 games. So this will be the last game that he has to sit, but it's very impactful, right? You're losing your leadoff hitter. So we'll kind of have to see how it goes. I want to see guys like, we really haven't seen like Ref Snyder, Devers, Wong, those guys. Hopefully they can step up tonight and really start hitting the ball again. It's a little concerning. All right, next game, Royals and the Twins. This one's confusing. Very confusing. The Royals keep moving to be the underdog here. I just don't understand this. So Zebby Matthews. This kid started the season in high A. And he went from high A to double A to triple A, and now he's pitching in his first major league game. Numbers don't look bad if you look at it holistically. 2.60 ERA, 114 Ks, and 97 innings across all 3 leagues. But if we just look at triple A, he's got a 5.68 ERA, and he's given up 12 earned runs in 19 innings pitched. So really hard for me to see how the Twins are still the favorite, and it actually keeps moving in the Twins' direction, which I love because I'm on KC today again. Look at Lugo. He's pitched very, very well against Minnesota. He's got a 1.73 ERA in 6 games pitched against the Twins. So give me Kansas City to bounce back today. Do they get to Lugo? Maybe. But my God, shouldn't the Twins get to this kid? I would hope so. So still riding hot bats, still hitting with runners in scoring position. So give me them all day. I mean, the biggest difference in that Twins game, they hit 2 home runs. That's really what it was. They hit a 3-run home run and a 2-run home run. I think all with 2 outs. That completely flips the script on the game. All right, Yankees and the White Sox. Good fucking God. And they went down 2-1. I'm like, well, actually, let's just start at the very beginning of the game. You start out hit, double by Judge, 1-0. I'm like, hell yeah, the route's about to start. And then pop up. I'm like, oh shit, that sucks, man. That could have been a big inning. I'm like, it's not a big deal. And then they score 2. I'm like, not a big deal. 2-1. And the Yankees don't score, and White Sox score 2. I'm like, oh fuck, like here we go. And then it just snowballed from there. So I'll be honest, Jonathan Cannon makes me nervous, and I don't like Nestor Cortes. We look at Cortes. He did pitch against the White Sox in May, did really good, blah, blah, blah. That was May. This dude's been horrendous lately. 24 earned runs in his last 5 starts. Cannon is real good. Now, he has games where he's off, but he is pretty damn good. He's only given up 4 earned runs in his last 3 starts, and he faced Oakland, Kansas City, and Texas. Now, Kansas City got to him the outing before that, for I think 4 or 5. So he's kind of hit or miss. He goes one way or the other. He's either going to dominate or he's going to get shit on. And there just seems to be no in between. Like he's either going to give up 0-1 or 4-6. So I'm a little scared, if I'm being honest. That said, his average to right-handed hitters is not good. 386. So technically they should dominate him. I don't trust Cortes whatsoever. Like I could definitely see the White Sox winning this, honestly. You can get them +4 for -197 right now. You can get the White Sox +4 for -197, which I almost did yesterday. About the same value. I wish I would have in hindsight. Or I wish I would have just taken White Sox -7. I'm sure the payout on that would have been real good. Pitch splits for Cortes look really good. Pitch splits for Cannon look really bad. So we'll see. On paper, they should destroy them. Do I feel overly confident? I actually wouldn't feel bad if it were anybody but Cortes and Cannon. I just don't like this mix right here. So I might just fade this game, man. I don't like it. Just my spider senses are tingling on that one. All right, Dodgers and the Brewers. We were on the Dodgers last night. Clayton Kershaw, beautiful outing. Freddie Peralta, we faded him for a reason. He's just not good. Now tonight we've got Gavin Stone and Colin Ray up. I'm going the other way. Kind of weird, I know. It's just more I don't trust Gavin Stone. He's given up a lot of earned runs in his last 6 starts, and it kind of ties back to, yes, he's got a 9-5 record, but he pitches really well against bottom 10 lineups. Fantastic pitcher. But you face him against a top 10 lineup, they smack him around. So I think the Brewers bounce back tonight. They should hit the baseball. Rhea's been serviceable. He's had 2 decent outings. They were both against the Braves, so can't look into that too much. I think he gives up his runs for sure. I can see the Dodgers getting, 2 to 3 runs potentially, but we'll have to see. This is a bit of a crapshoot here. I don't know if I'll bet it necessarily, but I do think there's value in betting the Brewers. All right, Angels and the Blue Jays. We were on the Blue Jays last night. Got off to a very quick start and then nothing. So should be an interesting game. Kevin Gausman is one of those guys that pitches better away than he does at home. So that said, he doesn't have a great track record against the Angels. They are hitting like 326 off of him, so they're like 28 for 86. They've only hit like 1 home run off of him, but there's probably value in taking the Angels, I guess, but I don't trust Carson Fulmer. This guy gives up a lot of runs, and I just trust the Blue Jays bats more. So ultimately, going with the Blue Jays. All right, Rockies D-backs. I didn't put a lot in here. Rodriguez making his second start. Looked pretty decent in his first start. We should see his pitch count go up a little bit. Austin Gomber's just freaking horrible. So it's a lefty going up against the Diamondbacks. I'm in. Run line. I trust them to bounce back today and get the job done. So I think Rodriguez has a good game. Got to go run line for the value, but at minus 118, it's really good value. Although we were on the Diamondbacks, which I thought was beautiful. I got them at plus 100 yesterday. By mid-afternoon, they were minus 142. So in terms of closing line value, absolutely destroyed that. Didn't pan out. So, but I like them to bounce back today. All right, Padres Pirates. There were hardly any runs in this game yesterday. Kind of a crazy little game. But that said, we've got Luis Ortiz going up against Michael King. They just faced Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, and Ortiz gave up 3 home runs in the first inning. They absolutely rocked him. But that said, they didn't really get anything after that. Michael King, they actually got to Michael King, which I didn't expect. So I think he gave up like 4 earned runs. But Michael King is a good home pitcher, so I think we flip it. I like the Padres a lot today. They should get the job done. Pitch splits are pretty bad for Ortiz. This guy is he's not a strikeout guy. His line's at like 2.5 right now for Ks. So he should give up some hits here. So I like the Padres to get it done. We just need to see the bats come back to life. That's my only problem with the Padres. They get really streaky with the sticks. Okay, last game on the card. Old Uncle Charlie. Boy, we faded Uncle Charlie last time, and it paid off in spades. He gave up 8 earned runs in like 2 innings. So don't love old Uncle Charlie, and not done so great against the Giants. They're hitting 243 off of him. They did face him in Atlanta like a couple weeks ago, and they got like 3 off of him. Going up against Kyle Harrison. Kyle Harrison is a much better pitcher at home than he is away. That said, he's only given up 3 earned runs in his last 3 home starts. I think we're seeing the Braves, the Coors Field effect, like I talked about yesterday. That game couldn't have worked out any better. That's what I said. There's that Coors Field effect where the offense sucks for the next series after they leave Coors. But I said they wouldn't need many runs to get the win, and they damn sure didn't. They only needed 1. So, funny thing is, I almost did a 1-0 bet, but it seemed really stupid at the time. Would have been really nice. That said, if we look at Atlanta, right, we look at their pitch splits here, like, wow, they're hitting lefties pretty good. 280 over the last 14, 344 over the last 7. They've only seen 1 left-handed starter in the entire month of August, and it was Kyle Freeland the other day. They got 3 or 4 earned runs off of him, but that's Cleveland, or that's in Coors. You can't really bank a lot on that. So I think offensive struggles continue. I think Kyle Harrison has an okay day. The over is at 8 and it's favored. Wind is blowing out, but I think the Giants go to town on old Grandpa Charlie here and end up scoring 5-6 runs. We might see their offense break out today thanks to Uncle Charlie. All right, let's jump right into this. Straight bets. I like Kansas City first 5. You give me Lugo against a rookie. I'll take that, especially at minus 110. Padres race to 4 at minus 115. I like the Cardinals Reds under 9. I think Fetty is okay, and Hunter Green should have a decent day. So I like that for minus 108. Good odds there. D-backs run line at minus 118. Give me Tigers first 5 at minus 125. So we're isolating Skubal and Kirby. And then give me Philly team total over 4.5. Like I said, if it's Belante pitching, I'm not too worried. They should get to him. And if it's somebody else, then probably chilling anyway. Parlays I like, so give me the Diamondbacks, Padres, and Phillies all minus 1. That's plus 343. Give me Kansas City first 5. Baltimore and Houston. It's at plus 401. And then give me the Red Sox, Mets, and the Guardians at plus 386. Fun parlay, you can see it there. And then our upset parlay, doing something a little different today. We're going to do something a little different. So we're taking the White Sox plus 4. Like I said, that's like minus 197. And then we're taking Kansas City plus 1. And then we're going to take the Giants money line. So pair those 3, it's plus 364. I think this is a very realistic upset parlay that could hit. So rather than just kind of taking all the upsets and hoping they ping, I feel like this is a very realistic one, and it's only plus 364. So you can kind of see how I have the teams ranked out. Just a couple of games that I really don't like the Blue Jays, I can see them losing. Obviously, the Brewers plus money. On paper, they're supposed to lose. Guardians, yeah. I mean, I like I don't know. I mean, I actually feel pretty decent about like here up. These two games are coin flip, but I feel like there's an edge in all of these games. So we'll see. Nerfy's only going with 2 today. We went 2-2 on Nerfy's yesterday, and I cut the leans way down. There really just wasn't a lot I liked, honestly. Yesterday I put like every single one I was looking at, but today there just wasn't a ton on there. I do like this one. This is Matthew Boyd for the Twins, or not Twins, the God bless it, Cleveland, to give up the first earned run. So you could take that. That's pretty good at minus 115. If I trusted Assad even a little bit, I'd take that. But the fact that a rookie is like basically even with him kind of tells you a whole lot there. All right. Well, I guess technically not a rookie, but dude making his first start after injury. You can look at Cubs team total over 3.5 if you think today's going to be a slugfest. Chicago White Sox team total over 2.5. That was one I did look at yesterday. Again, kicking myself for not taking that. But I think against Cortez, that is very, very low. I mean, like I said, I can 100% see the White Sox winning today. So those are going to be my best bets. Let's have a good bounce back day here. If you haven't, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments section what your favorite bet is today.